Welcome to New Gen Media, covering the facts and truth regarding democracy and human rights. I am Z. Today I will be continuing my report of the current news from Arakan State, also known as Rakhine State, in Myanmar, where the Myanmar government and Myanmar military, known as Tatmadaw, is committing war crimes and widespread human rights violations as we speak. According to the sources and reports from Arakan State, Myanmar military have ignored the UN Security Council's urges for a national ceasefire. Britain stated its concern for the war during the COVID-19 pandemic, and EU members, Belgium, Estonia, France, and Germany all backed the concerns, calling for an immediate, comprehensive, and nationwide ceasefire. The Myanmar army refused to comply, despite the Arakan army declaring a ceasefire multiple times. The Myanmar army refuses, as the Myanmar government labeled the AA as a terrorist organization. More breaking news this week as the Myanmar army set Lakha village in Rangwu township on fire on May 16th. This occurred just a couple of days after the UN Security Council's discussions. More than 190, or 2/3 of the village houses were burned to the ground that day. The casualties related to this fire are currently unknown. So far, there has been little to no coverage by any media over this fire. This fire is similar to the burning of Papio village in Mimbya township back in March, in which an 85-year-old disabled woman and a 50-year-old man were both killed. That is all for this week's news briefing. Thank you for watching. This is Z reporting for New Gen Media.
Hello. Today I would like to discuss the current state of affairs in Arakan, but I won't touch on anything that's happening now. Instead, I would like to take a look at a document from over 60 years ago. The State of Arakan by U Chon Min is a speech that was made in the Chamber of Deputies. U Chon Min was a prominent Arakanese politician who served as finance minister in the late 1950s after Burma gained independence from the British Empire. However, the speech was never made in full because the speaker stopped him in the middle of it. He also prohibited any publication of the speech in any newspapers. And even now, it's obvious why it was so suppressed. Now, the words ring true more than ever. He talks about many things, but the most of which is a long and colorful history of animosity between the Arakanese and the Burmese peoples. He describes how, at one point, the Arakanese people were citizens of a great naval empire, which was a dominating force in the Bay of Bengal in the 17th and 18th centuries. But towards the end of the 18th century, the king of Arakan was usurped, and in 1784, Arakanese nobles appealed to the Burmese king for help. But instead of helping like he said he would, the Burmese king invaded and conquered the once mighty Arakanese kingdom. Here begins the first of many acts by the Burmese against the Arakanese. Tens of thousands of Arakanese fled their homeland, and after attempts to retake the land, the Burmese king ordered that it be completely depopulated of any Arakanese people. Then, at the end of the First Anglo-Burmese War, the lost land was ceded to the British. Under British rule, the Arakanese regained power in their homeland, but once they left, the Burmese in power reasserted themselves. The Arakanese people felt powerless and protested the bullying that the Burmese brought on. This process is described by U Chon Min in saying, quote, If there is any minor fight between some stray personnel of the armed forces and the civilians, the armed forces bring up reinforcements armed to the teeth and proceed to hammer and even shoot up civilians indiscriminately." End quote. From this, it's clear that the Burmese military and Burmese government ruled with an iron fist. Next week, I will discuss how these fear tactics have not changed at all in almost 60 years, but for now, I'll simply end it here. I wanted to provide some historical context for the current conflict that we have today. Thank you. Jizutomare.